Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Around the Diamond podcast here from American Diamond Logistics. I'm your host, Kevin Mench, and back from vacation, my co-host, Mr. Steve Wineriter.
It was a productive vacation this time. You can't even call it vacation. This is a volleyball tournament, but it was more enjoyable than a lot of vacations I go on.
And then I just picked up on your next vacation schedule, which for the next 8 weeks, you will be gone 7.5 of them.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Hey, well, this is true. It's true. I don't know how much I'm going to be working in June. I'm a little nervous about that. We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
So I'm going to be stuck here on this couch by myself.
Yeah.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to get a cardboard cutout and put it right here for you, just like in.
Can you make my face skinnier?
I love
Do y'all
that
promise
idea.
to do
I
that?
love this idea. Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least you can come up with something. I mean, we could create something.
This is a great idea. I love the cutout. We can even have you just in the background, you know?
Yeah.
That way when-
Yeah. But most of the time, the thing that scares me about that, most of the time when you do that, that person's like really not here anymore. Oh. so I'm still here. I'm just not here.
But you know what they could do too when we're done with the show? We can sit in the corner. I mean, they can throw things at it, darts and type of thing.
I get stuff thrown at me every time
That's
I
what I'm
walk
saying.
down
You're not
that
going to be
aisle.
here. Why not have something with you?
Yeah,
You can
they'll miss.
really take maybe like a punching bag or something, and we'll just set up a camera just to make
Yeah.
sure it's like, wait, who's really doing the most damage to this thing right now?
Yeah. I tell you, every time I walk down there, I'm getting hit with those flying pigs. Like,
I just got decapitated by a pig a second ago out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I can barely get the thing to go about 4 feet, and this thing went across.
I know.
And it
the
was
office.
I
Callista
know.
too. Little Callista like shut up and just pop.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We've got a fun show today. Well, I think all the shows are fun, but the couch looks better today. How about that? I'm pretty.
I did my hair.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
And it looks amazing.
you. Yeah.
I have to get your stylist number, Kevin.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a lot of effort. To do
it does. It does. I did get my hair cut last night, but I get it cut like once every 7 days.
Actually?
I do. Yeah,
Wow.
and I think I got it. No, it was a week this time. The cut before that was like 5 days. I hate it long. Can't stand it long. And I need all the help I can possibly get. So
Like, no, it has to be
that's
clean.
a big part of it. Yeah, it's a big part of it. We got a fun show today. We are joined today by the lovely Miss Elise DeLaney. She is our CTMI coordinator of training, marketing, implementation, and really she does a lot more than that for us. I would say our LinkedIn and really social media profile has gained a ton of traction since she has been here, and I have to give her a ton of credit in a lot of different areas. But her ability to create not just the content, but the I guess they call it the creative material, right? The actual images. She is fantastic at that, and we're in the process of doing a lot of marketing initiatives, and she's running point on a lot of that. And I'll tell you, you just get on LinkedIn and see all of her work. It is phenomenal.
Thank
So
you.
we're excited to have her. So
Thank
welcome
you
to
so
the show.
much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
It's been, so I know that I've been actually here with the show. Y'all just haven't seen me. I've been behind the scenes the whole time, but I did want to share my first interaction with Steve because I feel like it kind of stands out. But
Yeah, I've got a story on this too.
yeah,
by the way.
it's the whole interview was crazy. But
Yeah.
when I came to ADL, I was actually interviewing for a different position. I was going for something that was a little bit different hours because I wanted to do some schooling on the side. And while I was in the middle of this interview, these two men walk in and interrupt, and they introduce themselves, and I'm like, oh, it's the CEO and the CCO. I'm like, okay, very exciting. Yes, yeah, that's the CEO. And I was like, okay, cool. This must be going well. Well, they pulled me into another room, and they ended up saying, we we have no problems with you taking this first position, but we did want to let you know that we actually had something else pop up and we wanted to talk to you about it. And it was the CTMI position and everything. And what a whirlwind. But Steve's in there and he's just so passionate. And if you know Steve, which we all do, you know that Steve just is a very passionate person, and his love and dreams and commitment to this company is really what sold me on it. So it was very cool. So
That's very cool. Yeah. That was a very unique interview session that day.
For sure.
Because Rob was scheduled to interview her, and me and Jim, and was it just me and Cliff?
It was you and Cliff, yeah.
Me and Cliff.
Yeah.
Me and Cliff were having some kind of impromptu, and Rob comes in and he's like, "Hey, just so you guys know, I think I've got a really good candidate to fill this seat that he was looking for," and he sets it on our desk just to like update us, which he doesn't even do that very much. So it was kind of ironic that it happened that day.
Yeah.
And about that time, she comes in and she goes into the conference room for the interview. And Cliff and I are looking at it, and we're like, "Wait, this profile matches exactly what John needs. We'll fill that other spot, but this is a harder role to fill." So we gave her about 3 minutes with Rob. We gave her about 3 minutes with Rob, and we knock on the door, and it's just kind of like, "Hey, we're gonna take this conversation
It was
over."
really funny from an outsider's perspective too, because Rob looked,
He's like, "What's going on?" We're
Rob
like,
and
"We'll
Jake
explain
were there,
later."
and they were like looking around. So
Yeah.
I was like, "What, did I do something?" Like, yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, so we gave. Then I think we spent probably 10 or 15 minutes with her, and then we're like, Listen to Rob. You don't want that role, but listen to Rob, and then come in the other room. Mm-hmm. And so Rob was not a happy camper that day, because he thought he had the perfect person for his role, and then he's like, y'all just stole the candidate that I presented, and
Seniority.
So, yeah, exactly.
Pulling rank on.
Sorry, I told him, sorry about your bad luck.
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have, we have really enjoyed Elise, and she's taken that role. She's heavily involved on the agent side, and that department. We've had John on the show too, and Elise and John and Jason have that department absolutely rolling. It is a rocket ship right now. That department is at a level where, and I mentioned it on that show, it's at a level I never dreamed of, and they could not do it without Elise. She's such a big part of that, and those agents and the prospects that we talk to, and they all appreciate all the work that she does, coordinating everything and making sure everything's done in the right steps, and so we are very, very fortunate that you took that role and not the other.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I'm so excited. It really, I know it's crazy enough, it derailed my entire career and put it on a track that I think I'm so much happier now than I would have been anywhere else. So I'm so happy to be here.
So Elise we don't need to mention the competitor of ours, but she was at a much larger 3PL, right? Mm-hmm. They're not nearly as talented as we are, I would say.
Absolutely.
But what have you noticed as relative to a difference between this environment that's obviously much smaller and where you came from?
I think that something that really stands out here that I haven't found before in other places, especially in my previous workplace, is there's a communication piece here where everybody really is involved. You know, whenever Steve has an idea, whenever Jim's bringing on something new, everyone is involved. Everyone knows what's going on, and we all come together to make it happen. So it doesn't matter what department you're in, doesn't matter what level your role is. Everyone knows what's going on, and we're all pitching in. And I think that that's really unique and really special to ADL. And it's something that made me fall in love with this company. I mean, it's a great, great place to be where there's such a strong community, and it's really a team effort here, and that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good to hear. And, you know, I know we've mentioned that in several episodes, but it's always good to hear from, you know, people that are in it every day. You know, and they either feel it or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And when they don't, that's our fault. It's not theirs, right? And we haven't been perfect. There's been times when you know, our environment probably could have been better, but you know, I think we're also pretty hard on ourselves with that, and you know, we're tough graders, so to speak, because it's an important piece of the puzzle, right? So.
I will add to one more thing, and then we'll go back to our original topics and stuff. But another thing that does set ADL apart, and I genuinely mean this, the leadership, and I like to call y'all the C-suites or the three heads of the beast. Y'all take it, and it's you and Jim and Cliff, and the three of y'all all have this incredible vision, and you also are so open to ideas of making it happen. And so y'all are very genuine and honest and bring it to the table and give other people opportunities to bring their skill sets and stuff. And that's also very, very special. So the leadership here really sets it apart.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's it's definitely something that we focus on. So when we get it right, it's good to hear.
It's great.
Yeah.
So I want to turn this around. I know that, Steve, you've been asking me a bunch of questions, but I'm really here today to ask you some questions. So we'll just start basic, big, overall. One topic that always comes up is the dreamers, right? The dream side of it. And American dreams are something that it's a concept that's been around since the beginning of time. Everyone's heard of it. So what to you, both of you, is the American dream, and how have y'all tied that to your careers? And I guess we'll start with Kevin, since you haven't had as much to say yet.
I mean, as a dreamer, it's just as a kid, you know, you see things, you want to be something, you want to do something, and the American dream that I picture is being a kid wanting to do something, and then that being my focus. Didn't matter what it was. It could, you know, if being an athlete, right? Rain, sleet, snow, whatever. You're going to be outside. You're going to do it because that's what your dream is. You want to do that, right? You want to be something that you see people that you admire. You know, something catches your eye. Oh, I want to be like that. What do I need to do, right? How do I do that? How can I be better, right? But there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, it's not just the doing. It's the listening to the people around you. That have maybe been there or experienced something, right? And you take bits and pieces, because you can't take everything that you learn from everybody, right? That's just too much information but you take the little bits and pieces of what you've heard, what you've been taught, what you've learned to chase that dream and kind of filter yourself down to what you want to do. I mean, you know, you hear things as a kid. My brother wanted to be a bus driver, right? Buses are cool, but did they go down that road? No. But that's the thing that they think about. You know, as a kid, we all want to be something that's fun, right? You want to see people having fun doing it, right? Because I mean, nowadays, the kids don't really experience things. They see it on TV, they see it on their phone, but they don't actually go out and experience it.
Absolutely.
And I think that leads us to something we want to do, right? Because you say, you know, for baseball, I ended up playing baseball. You go to a ballpark, right? It's not just the field and everything else. It's the scent, it's the smells, right? The peanuts, the hot dogs, things that just get everything flowing, and it just kind of you get like a tingling type feeling in your body of wow, what is that, right? How do I get to that euphoric feeling to do that? And I think that's what led to that, wanting to chase a dream. And I was fortunate enough to do it for a long time.
Yeah.
My body's paying for it now, but at least being able to do it.
That's your age.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah. 48, feel like I'm 88. My body does, but my mind says I'm 18. So, what do you do?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But that's what I was always taught. I just wanted to be. I had brothers that kind of helped a little bit, wanting to be. They did something. What do I need to do to be better than them? But I did listen to them. It wasn't. I went about doing it my own way. And granted, we do it a little bit, but we want to listen to those people around us, because it's like you talked about here with American Diamond. It's the family that helps you kind of develop everything, right? They weren't just going to let me fail. They were going to listen to me. I was going to tell them what I couldn't do, and they were going to help me do it. It wasn't just, hey, you figure it out and you move on.
It's so funny that so your career being the sports, watching your brothers and everything, being part of your dream, you made it happen. But another part of your dream that you've just mentioned, I don't know if you even caught on to it, you talked about how you want other people to have fun, like you want to be, and you do that whenever Kevin walks in a room.
The environment just got funner.
Yeah, it lines up and it's fun and it's bouncy and you're literally shooting stuff across the room. And
I've known that man almost 20 years. I've never seen him have a bad day.
Yeah, amazing. And and you can't say that about other people.
And if he was, he made sure that his day didn't affect anybody else. And that's why I've always told him, he's one of those athletes, and I've been around a handful, but he's one of those athletes that doesn't know that he's one of those one percenters. Mm-hmm. He doesn't conduct himself like that. He's always a man of the people, I guess is one way to say. And one time, thankfully, this was so funny. It was opening day. This was opening day, and thankfully, I'd had probably, well, I won't say the number, but a few drinks at the tailgate, and and I'd only known him a few years, and I'm with some people, and I'm like, I'm going to name drop this dude. Like he's, because he's going to be walking on the field in a little while. They were introducing all the old timers, and and we go sit down in our seats, and this lady in front of me is wearing a Mench jersey, and I'm like, man, I don't even know. I've got the guy's number, but I don't know if I've ever even called him on his cell phone before. But I was like, I'm feeling pretty good, Mm-hmm. I'm you
got that liquid courage.
Yeah, I had the courage. So I call him up, and I'm like, hey man, I'm like, this lady in front of me is wearing your jersey, and he's like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, she's literally like right in front of me. He's like, put her on the phone. I was like, okay. And I tap her on the shoulder. I'm like, ma'am, somebody would like to talk to you. Uh-huh. And she's like, what?
She didn't look at your name on the phone when you pick it up and got it.
Yeah, no, she should have. And she's like, hello, and she's like, who is this? And she looks back. She's like, is this really him? I'm like, yeah, that's really him. And so I made her day. It was so cool. It was so cool. Yeah, but it only happened because of probably Miller Lite, but it is what it is. She thanked me. She really should have thanked Miller Lite probably. So,
and today we thank Coke.
we do thank Coke. We are very happy to have Coke on the coffee table with us.
See, I thought you were going to say that who is his mom, because I don't know who else would be wearing a Kevin Mench jersey.
They
were a giveaway. It's probably a giveaway.
It was one of those cannons. There's old, getting rid of the stock.
Lots of people were wearing them yesterday, I would imagine. Yesterday was a big day.
What happened yesterday?
Yesterday was and this is going to show his age again. Yesterday was the 20th anniversary of him setting a Major League Baseball record as a right-handed hitter to hit a home run in 7 consecutive games.
Oh my gosh!
So he was. They were actually talking about it. I saw it on X or Twitter, whatever that is nowadays. But they actually referred to it on the pregame show before the Rangers game on Tuesday.
That's so
I was like, hey, I know him.
I know that guy. How does that make you feel? 20 years ago, you set the record.
The way he's gonna answer this question proves my point, right? Of what I was talking about a minute ago. How many Major League Baseball players have there been? 25,000 or 28,000?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, 28,000 out of, millions and millions and millions of kids that have played that wonderful game over, the last 100 and whatever, 40 or 50 years. 25,000 or how 25, 28,000, whatever that number is. We're fortunate enough to make it to that level. And was there another right-handed hitter?
I was the first one to do it.
He was
Five was the record before that. Frank Howard had that was a Rangers record, and a Major League record for right-handed batters was Frank Howard at 5.
Yeah.
So I think the Rangers have actually number 6, maybe.
Yeah.
I have number 7 because it came back on the field in Cleveland.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and I was watching that swing last night. You got down and got it, and it was like a 3/4 swing too. But he's got muscles. He used them muscles. Yeah.
The muscles come in handy, as they do.
Yeah. But that he's the first one to ever do that, right? And that from a guy that my dream growing up was to essentially be Kevin. But when I got to 5'9" in cleats, maybe on a good day, and I had I could run a little bit, but I couldn't throw and I couldn't hit for average. It was like, I don't think I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
So to have that dream and not to just accomplish it, but to be able to enjoy it for so long, I think is really cool. But he's incredibly humble about it too.
Well, let's talk about the dream you did accomplish. So when ADL was a concept, talk about how that came to be, what led you there, what led you here.
Yeah, I think for me it was it was something that materialized over time. I don't know that I realized that it was maybe a skill set that I had. When I started American Diamond with Kevin Garrett, I had been at my dad's 3PL for a long time, and I just felt like it was time for me to create something on my own. And my wife was she was a doctor, and she was going off salary and into what in our world would be considered commission. I think they call it production. So her income was going up, and it was the timing was right for me to create something on my own. But at that time, essentially all I was doing was creating a job for myself. And that was September 4th of 2012 was the first day that American Diamond was active. And from September through December, I think we generated like 450,000 in revenue. And I thought we were, just amazing.
Well, for a beginning, that is amazing.
It was, we didn't quite, know what we were getting into at the time. And we certainly didn't have this in mind. But, it didn't take long for me to understand the concept of duplication, and that's a big thing with me. It's basically if you can do something once, you can do it twice, and we felt like we could create a concept that ultimately could scale, and but the road to that was in some ways it felt long, but in essence, as far as real time is concerned, it happened pretty darn quick. So my dream really, I would say, really didn't start until a little while after American Diamond had even started.
Oh,
I
really?
was just like I said, I was only creating a job for myself. It was either go play baseball or go not play baseball. I wasn't Kevin. Unfortunately, I was going to coach baseball.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't want to teach. I don't like little twerps that you gotta corral all the time, because I was one of them. So it was, I'd been in this space for 10 years and felt like I had a, pretty good feel for it. And so I literally just created a job for myself, and the dream actually started to take shape a little while after we had started. And what I would also say is that dream continues to evolve because, we've scaled now to where we're a top 150 3PL relative to revenue, and now I think we have dreams and ambitions to go much higher, and so that dream continues to evolve to this day.
Amazing. So another question for both of you is, what are some risks that were involved while you were making your dreams come true? How did you overcome them? What was your inspiration?
So baseball side of it, this is something that Steve can relate to, is our vacations.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
for the baseball side of it, I had never had a spring break
Yeah.
growing up. Just everything was done through the summertime. When I finally retired, April hit, and I just thought, wow, I'm supposed to be doing something right now. I don't know what it is, but because your body and your mind are on the same thing forever.
Absolutely.
So the vacation side of it, we played. Baseball went from February through June or July, and then you're right back to school. So you really have to the balance of being a kid, right? And I always told when Steve was helping me when I was coaching, I'd tell the boys when we were done in July, I'm like, go be a kid, right? You need to go be a kid just to get away from it, because especially here in Texas, we have 4 seasons, right? You have spring, early spring, summer, late summer, and that's it. So
That's
so
all
you
you
can
get.
do one sport all the time. And where I grew up, we had seasons, so I was able to do multiple sports, not specifically focused on one. So being able to just to kind of be a kid and do, right, you're around the same guys doing different things. So that was the thing that you really give up is being able to do that. Travel. Here, kids are going on vacations and this and that. So we didn't have that, right? Your kids are going spring break. We're going to go. Nope. Basically it becomes as you get older, it becomes a job, college. And then in professional side of it, that's what you're doing nonstop. And once the season's over with, the last thing you want to do is go anywhere because you're traveling so much, and then you get a couple months off and you're right back to it. Yeah, and you're right back to it. So that's the one thing you give up now. Do I like traveling? I would, but not too long. I have ADD. All right. If I have something, I want to get there quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on a plane for 15 hours to go spend 3 or 4 days somewhere. If I'm going to go, I'm going to go stay for a month. But then now it's it's coming out of your pocket of what's it going to cost to do that. So a lot of things you give up, but at the same time, you get to go to places. When I was playing that, why would I go west of the Mississippi? I grew up on the East Coast. Why would I, here I am, been in Texas for over 20 years now. To travel in the cities that why would I want to go to Seattle? Especially now, but
by the way, when he says he has ADD, he's being really honest. I remember, when we were neighbors for a while, we'd go down and man, I'm bored. I know Kevin's going to be outside. He's going to be throwing stuff at cars driving by or whatever, because they were speeding and yeah.
They chiming in from the gallery back there.
Yeah. And I got a funny story on that too. But so I'd be like, man, I'm bored. And I remember one time I go down and I kind of look down the sidewalk. I'm like, okay, Shrek's outside. So I'd walk down and I'd be like, what's up? We'd start talking and I remember one time there's a car driving by and super fast. I'm like, God, it's just pissing me off. And I continue the conversation. I'm like, where's Kevin? Where's Kevin? He's like, hey, I'm over here gardening now, So it was like,
Already on to the next.
Yeah, already on to the next. It was quick too. And so at another time, I could always count on him to harass a car that was speeding. We had little kids at the time, and he kind of had one side of the street and I had the other, and he would sling baseballs and footballs and hockey pucks and all kinds of stuff at these cars. And when McKenna was born, Nicole's like, hey, we're gonna take some food down to the Menches. And I was like, okay, good. And Madeline was real little at the time, and she had just woken up, but we put her in the car seat and drove all the food down to his house. And this car is like hauling down the street, gets right behind me and is like flipping me off because I'm going slow in the neighborhood. And I was like, okay, well, I assumed that I had my buddy coming up, because he's always outside. Yeah. And so that the guy caught me at the wrong time, and I decided to chirp back, and got in front of his house, thinking again he's got to be in his driveway. He's always in the driveway. Slam the car and park and get out, and I start screaming at the guy.
Yeah.
Right. And in my peripheral vision, I'm like, okay, well, yep, the one time he's actually inside. Yeah. And the guy starts to get out, and he thought better of it. And so he got back inside, and the girlfriend's eyes were like, they were wide open. And so thankfully for him, he got back in his car and decided it was best that he just drive off. But that neighborhood was full of little kids, and we were supposed to have supposed to be a gated neighborhood, and that never happened. So we tried to be the enforcers, so keep the kids safe. So I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I'm sure if you were actually throwing stuff at.
I tripped and things had just fallen out of my hands.
I hate when that happens.
I'm clumsy sometimes. And
it was on accident.
Completely
They just happened to be speeding.
Yeah. When you're carrying your hockey pucks outside, that does
we were
happen.
shooting pucks from all over the place. Football.
Yeah, they just happened. They only hit the ones that were speeding, thankfully.
Yes, this is all allegedly.
Yeah, this is allegedly.
Allegedly, 20 years ago. So, after you started ADL and everything started evolving, coming to be, what were the problems in the industry that you noticed and you wanted to fix and have a solution here at ADL you didn't see elsewhere?
Yeah, I think really it came down to really a solicitation strategy. 3PLs are, this is a sales heavy type of environment, right? You can be the best operations group on the planet, but if you don't have sales coming in, you can't showcase it, right? And so the industry has always really been pretty consistent from a solicitation strategy standpoint. It was just trying to meet a potential client at the right day at the right time, and have the DNA connect to a point where you got along and they were willing to give you an opportunity, and then you had to showcase your ability to support the volume that they gave you, and that's great. But there's a lot of effort and a lot of time that's spent on that, and your batting average, so to speak, in the amount of potential clients and touch points that you're making is, your batting average is typically, pretty low. You've got to go through a number of potential cold calls before you get to a point where you got a client base built up, and I wanted to create a solicitation strategy that allowed us to have a higher batting average, so to speak, right? And back then, we identified a few different opportunities, but ultimately we landed on software, and transportation management systems at the time were not good. I felt like they were more of a back office data placeholder than a tool that I was looking for. I wanted them to be client facing and really utilized as a significant tool in a salesperson's tool belt, right? And so that's where we landed. We decided to utilize technology and create technology to our advantage, so that it would give the sales team an advantage in the market, and benefited the clients and their supply chains more so than what our competitors were able to do. And ultimately, what we found is that once we created Navigator and Freight Tracer, and when we went live January 1 of 2017, what we found pretty quick was the technology was not just the shiny new toy and the incredible tool for the salespeople to use, but it has really evolved into our business model. Mm-hmm. And we are absolutely a tech-centric 3PL now, that and we have gone way further than where we were back then, and it's really exciting what we've been able to do with the technology, and we wouldn't have been able to do it had we not made that decision back in 2016 to start development on our own platforms. And that literally was one of the main catalysts that allowed us to get to where we are today.
Amazing. What about you, Kevin? Whenever it comes to the leadership side in your baseball career, what's something that you saw that was lacking and you would not set out and made a difference there?
It's a little bit different from what you deal with in the business world, because there are some similarities. Most people can't really be honest with you when you on the baseball side of it. You've got a lot of people that they try and sugarcoat things and they do things that way. And as seeing that, front offices are different. How guys that hadn't we say strapped it on and played and gone out and been through it, don't understand what guys go through on a daily basis, in and out, travel, what it does with, between family and your teammates, and just mentally and physically, and being able to deal with that. And those people don't understand it. So they just try and sugarcoat things to tell you one thing when, the business side, they'll stab you in the back or anything else. So going through that and then being coaches, you'd be honest with kids that you were, because, I've always been told, that people are going to respect you more if you're honest. But at the same time, they might sting, but they're going to respect you down the road because you were at least, honest enough to tell them.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want them, you set them up for telling them one thing when something else different. And it's hard for people to understand that these days. It's this generation, I think, is just the mental capacity to be able to the way we were coached as kids was you'd be fired and thrown in jail for some of the things that were said to us as kids now.
Yeah.
And nowadays you can't, because kids just turn around and go, well, somebody hurt my feelings. And now all of a sudden now you've got lawsuits and everything else coming after you because you were just trying to be, and I think people think it's a personal attack. No, I think it's because of, you see what they're capable of and their potential, and what there's more there, but it's just the fact of how do you get it out of them, because you can't coach everybody the same, right? It's individual, just like a business. Everybody brings something different, but how do you get the most out of each one? And it's tough. It's like a teacher as well,
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to really grasp that concept, but it's a lot of patience. It's a lot of listening, and people go, "Why do you do what you do, and why do you coach?" It's not for the now. It's for, the 10 years down the road when someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, coach, hey, remember when you told me about that?" I go, "Yeah, okay." That really helped. And then that's when you've succeeded in what you were doing. So, I've always lived by the philosophy of, if you've changed one person's life, you've done your job. So because one person can change, so it's just that the law of multiplication of how things work. So that's been the biggest thing as far as that, and it's always ever evolving, just like anything else. It evolves, but at the same time, there's still the fundamentals that can kind of keep the grassroots to it, and everybody can try to throw their flair into things and do things, but just you get down just to the meat and potatoes of what it takes. And so that was the biggest thing.
Amazing. Thank you both. I really appreciate your honesty and your openness and sharing all of this with us, because I know there's so many people out there with similar dreams or even just their own version of the dream, and hearing from two people who have really made it happen, I know it's going to be wonderful for them to hear and get your advice. So thank you both for being so open today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is probably a good spot. We can pick up next week and continue on talking through what the American dream looks like. So for the lovely Miss Elise DeLaney, Kevin, and myself, we will see you next time.
Thank you.